Good evening, everyone. This is Shashwat over here from Design Teenage. Hope you all are doing well. And right now, this evening, we are going to talk about isometric and orthographic projections. One of the most important chapters and one of the most important topics that we all should know about before writing our NATA 2023 third attempt exam. Remember, this particular class session is also important for each and every student who is planning to go for any design or architecture exam. That might be on NIFT, NIT, UCEED, because this chapter is completely universal for any of these exams where you need this. You need to understand this. Also, students who are planning to write the JEE B.ARCH paper next year, definitely this year's paper is already over. This particular session will be really important for you because this particular session or this particular chapter holds a bulk chunk of marks in your JEE paper 2 aptitude section. So without wasting any time, let's quickly jump on to our particular theoretical part, which we are supposed to discuss, understand and decode what all is inside that so we can move ahead and solve any questions that come from there. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now and then we are good to go. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Just give me a second, guys. Great. So now we are going to discuss and start with our isometric and orthographic projections over here. Okay, so before starting, let me tell one or two things to each and every one of you. If you are new to Design Teenage, make sure you do subscribe if you feel that this particular channel or this particular institute is helping you out in some or the other way. If you feel this is helping you out, not only this session, any of the other videos and things which are related for your particular exam, make sure you share that with all your friends so that each and every student writing that exam, they can get the help. It should be a hand-on-hand process, it should be a thing which should be spread from one student to other for each and everyone's benefit. Now, coming to the other point, make sure if you want to download the app, check out your mock papers, and most importantly, if you want to prepare for your upcoming NATA third attempt, as well as for any of the exams of NATA, NIFT, NIT, UCEED, JEE B.ARCH paper 2, make sure you connect us on the given contact number in the description box and right now, which you can see in the right-hand side corner of the screen. That's all over here. Now, let us jump into our main topic of discussion. So over here today, we all are going to discuss our isometric and our orthographic projections. So initially, what does these things mean and how do we describe them and what all are there? We need to understand that first. So as soon as I talk about isometric projection or orthographic projection, until and unless you are able to imagine it, until and unless you are able to recapitulate a very particular topic or theory back in your mind, it will not really help. So let us quickly see what is our isometric projection. Okay. Yeah. So we are here to discuss about isometric projections first. So isometric, it refers to the technical visual representation of any product development. Isometric is not real state of drawing, unlike other drawings, example, product drawing, spatial drawings, perspective drawing, nature study drawings, but it is a projection to fulfill the structural understanding development process of the product manufacturing. Quite confusing, right? So over here, what is being told in terms of this textual format or what you see in terms of text is very simple. It tells that isometric drawing is actually not a technical representation of a product. It is a technical representation of any product development. It's not a real state drawing. Now, technical representation in the sense, you need to understand that what are the things going on inside that particular product. Might be a structure, might be an automobile, might be a phone. And these is a projection to fulfill the structural understanding and development process. Step by step, how the development is going in, you need to understand that and the structural aspects of it. We need this kind of isometric drawings. Now coming to the characteristics, because that is what describes this particular topic or this particular what is this what is this isometric drawing. So this particular thing actually describes it. So the visual representation of product always have a specific angular representation that is 30 degrees. So isometric drawing is nothing but when you have a 30-degree representation, of any sort of like, projection or so. So for example, let's assume this is our surface or surface plane on which our product or any sort of like, the structure which we are looking at is there. Now, when we are looking for an isometric drawing, let's assume this is our 90 degrees. Okay. Now, over here, the structure will be created at a 30-degree angle. How it is placed, it will be at a 30-degree angle. Okay. Just a minute. So if we are having a cube today, over here, it will be somewhat like this. Please excuse the like, nominal mistakes in the measurements also, because this is a freehand drawing right now. So this is how a structure will actually look in terms of an isometric drawing. Now, this is always not supposed to be an enclosed structure. This can be like, a structure where you are seeing an exploded view, where you are seeing the interiors of a like structure also. So it creates, the base creates a 30-degree with the surface plane. Previously, 45-degree representation was popularly known, but it's less because the products look too distorted in 45-degree angular representation. So all about isometric representation is just 30 degrees. Isometric projection is globally accepted way of projecting or projection, which is practiced by every industry. So everywhere, not only in your architectural part, any kind of stock products you're working on, or products in the sense structure is also a byproduct of what product of what human beings like is bringing in. That also comes under your isometric. Over there also isometric projections is really very important, and you need to understand that why it is important. If you have seen the advertisement, like for example, advertisements of Apple, like over there we have really seen like recently how products are like shown the exploded view. For example, Apple is launching its vision, or might be iPhone 14, let's assume, which is already launched. While they are launching, they just like explode the whole product and show you piece by piece what is there, what you see. And the best way to see it in a 3D mode, to revolve around it in a 360-degree way and to understand each and every aspect, is to see it in an isometric projected structure. 25 to 35-degree angular view considered to be the best angle aesthetically for any product catalog, which makes 30 degrees specifically much more appealing because it comes in the between. Okay, identical lines in product looks parallel in isometric projections. Isometric projections are, these are now the specifications. Isometric projections are always either same size of the main product or multiple divisible of the original size in case of the object is too small or too big. Okay, now let's move ahead to our next part. Now see, over here we have a simple mug. Okay, now this mug actually describes how this isometric projection is being done, or actually now I completely do know and understand that in NATA you don't have this kind of drawings. But to understand a particular structure, the best way to understand it is in terms of visual representation, not via textual representation. So we need to, if we have to understand something, and if we need to, like for a better implementation, then we will have to understand via visuals. Okay, so over here we have a simple coffee mug. Now, how it's working out, like what are the things or aspects that we can see in it? So see, in this coffee mug, from the top view, that is the plan, is like right now how you see it. Okay, now apart from this, when it is being projected in terms of an isometric view, how it will be shown or how it will be done, the most mistake which any student does is that you really cannot maintain a 30-degree angle at these positions. Okay, I will mark out the positions which I am trying to show. We are here talking about 30 degrees at these angles. Okay, this is circular, as well as it's really hard to maintain. Hence, you will see that the problem which occurs is that almost every student, while they are creating the top of a pot, a flower vase, or a mug, or anything similar, they are not able to maintain this particular spherical shape, like this ellipse shape which they need to have to show that how the mug is placed, like in accordance with, for example, if a mug is placed very straight, you will be able to see. It might be if it is placed like absolutely perpendicular, you will not see any of the hollow spaces on top. If it is slightly curved, you will see something. So slowly and gradually it moves. Now, for example, mug is placed like this, and you are making the top like somehow wherein you are able to see almost like, whole of that thing. So then that becomes a problem because it doesn't go with the rest of the structure. Unknowingly, this mistake is done by every student. So this thing, the area marked in blue, is the most crucial part of drawing cylinder. Maintain that gap and keep the oval seamless. So you need to know that whenever you are making an isometric composition for conical structures, so it's fine where you have cones like, or corners, for example, like a cuboid and all. But in terms of a cylinder, in terms of a cone where some part of it is like, cylindrical, you need to understand this very carefully. Okay. Now, moving ahead, see, pay attention to the handle of the cup. It will be aligned towards the center of the circle, like the extended part of the radius. Okay. These are some of the things which you need to see, which you need to understand and need to implement it finally in your exam. So what kind of questions come? We will go through that as well. Isometric with construction line of spherical object. This is a spherical object. Now you see there are different, there is a x-axis plane, there is a y-axis plane. When you are making a particular spherical shape, how it comes? It comes with circles like, on the x-axis plane, which is like, gradually from the center one is the equator part. If I consider this as R, is the most large one. Slowly it's like, and gradually it's becoming lesser in size. This is how it's being placed. On the other way around, now if I take the y-axis plane, again the same thing is happening in both these sides. So you need to understand how in isometric composition you should represent any of these structures. This is a practical view of interior of a house, how it is practically represented in an isometric projection. 30-degree isometric projection this is how it's done. Okay, this is isometric representation of a furniture store as a whole of a store when you need to show internally on the 3D view that, okay, this is how it looks. This is the best angle from which your client would like to have a look at all the things together. Okay, now what is orthographic projection then? We have understood about isometric, it's pretty clear. Now what is orthographic projection? Orthographic projection is a common method of representing three-dimensional objects, usually by two-dimensional drawings, in each of which the object is viewed along the parallel lines that are perpendicular to the plane of the drawing. For example, an orthographic projection of a house typically consists of a top view or plan and the front view and one side view. Front side elevations. So it's like, two sides of elevation and one of the top view is what you see in an orthographic projection. Now you might be like, getting some resemblance in your brain that I have seen this structure somewhere. I will tell you where you have seen. You have seen this in your JEE B.ARCH paper 2 exam. Maximum questions come like this. You are given a structure and the arrow is given and you need to identify among the 4 options which of the option is the correct top view of that particular one, or might be a side view, or it can be the other way around wherein you are given a side view and you are asked to identify how the 3D structure will look. So orthographic projection, very simple to understand. Don't go into this text. If you see an isometric structure, the 3 surfaces which you can see, 2 elevations, 1 plan, that is what is your those 3 surfaces are known as your orthographic projections. I hope it's pretty clear. Let's move ahead to see some of the structures. So this is how it will look in isometric. The top view, front view, side view. This is how it will be a 2-dimensional orthographic projection. Same kind of thing goes here for in terms of a real life furniture object or so, that how this whole structure will look for you in terms of an orthographic projection. From isometric view of the chair to the orthographic 2 sides position of the chair. Now there can be a third side as well, which will be the top view. And the top view will be very it will be something that you really cannot think about, or might be students will make a mistake. When you're looking at the top view, it will be nothing but rather than a square. Only a square with different markings on it. There will be 2 slide markings, so it will be something like this. Let me show you guys. When you look at the top view of this is the kind of square you will get along, because you are looking absolute perpendicular. Remember it. You are looking at the structure absolutely perpendicular. So this is how it is supposed to be done. I will make the interiors like in black. So this is what it will be for one side. Now I am comparing. How is all these things? Okay, it just excuse the extensions which are there. For example, the black color line of surpassed. Okay, I will remove it and we will redo. So over here, this is how it will be. This is one side of the handle. And this is another side. Okay. This is how it's gonna look. The top view is gonna look in the orthographic projection of this particular chair. So make sure you have a clear concept and idea about all these things. Okay, now we have a few questions over here. Please pause your screen, see the questions, solve it at your home. Whatever doubts you have, you can connect us on the contact number +91. That is our code for your country. After that, 76249888138. Now, some of you might be asking, sir, why the country code? Every student is from India writing the NATA. No, actually not. We get quite a few calls from Middle East countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and all these places. Students are there who have reached us, who are preparing. They went for their early stages. Parents are working there of their study and they are planning to return to India for their higher studies. So hence I am mentioning the number in full. So these are some of the things that make sure you go through questions. First question, your question number 2, pause the screen, solve it out. And if you have any queries, let us know. And make sure you try to solve each one of these things. And if you really want to prepare, please connect us, download the app. Let's prepare in a systematically way. Okay, so that we will make sure that you really crack the exam. That is really important. This is your third question. Apart from that, see, at Design Teenage, we don't have any courses in terms of 15 days, 30 days or so, because we believe in when you are over here, it should be our responsibility till the day you are not admitted in college. So any course you join in, rather it be a 2,000 rupee course or a 20,000 rupee course, it will be till the day you are not admitted in college. Okay. Okay, we have, I guess, one more question. This is your last question. Isometric view of the geometrical shape. The 3 surfaces are given. You need to draw the isometrical shape. Now, why these questions? You will never have to draw anything in NATA, but why these questions over here? Just for us to understand that you have understood, and or you also to understand that yes, I have understood and I am able to implement it in the final exam. I am able to, once you are able to do it on pen and paper, we are also very clear, you are also very clear that the whole concept is very clear within me. Okay, so that's all for this particular session, guys. Thanks a lot for staying with us throughout the session. I know this was a really short session, but I hope that you all have enjoyed. You all have got some or the other information which will be helping you out in your exam ahead, the exam that you have ahead for your NATA 2023 third attempt. And also these students who are over here, who are willing to prepare for their upcoming NIFT 2023 NIT and UCEED exam, make sure you connect us for next year, NATA 2023, and the next year JEE B.ARCH also you can connect us. But make sure whatever you do it with your 100% attention, you do it with your 100% focus that no, I am giving this exam, I will have to crack it. That's all my motto. And that's why over here at Design Teenage, we guide you till your college admission. With this, we would like to end this session or conclude this session over here. See you all in the upcoming days. Hope you all are getting some sort of important knowledge or so in this particular YouTube session. That's all for today's class. And we will be coming up with a few videos on terms of what happened to your NATA 2023 result and what you are supposed to do ahead, NATA 2020 second attempt result. And after that, what you are supposed to do ahead, how to proceed further or so. That's all for this class, guys. Thanks a lot. See you all in the upcoming days. Make sure you do share this particular YouTube video with all your friends who are writing this exam, and make sure that you do bring a change by joining us over here and letting us know what all doubts you have. And by joining, I don't mean that you need to join a course. The simple thing is, if you have some queries, if you have some information which you need from us, freely let us know about that. We will be more than happy to help you out. That's all, guys. See you all in the upcoming session. That's all for today. Hope you all have got some really important knowledge from this particular session. That's all, guys. Thanks a lot. Signing out over here. See you all in the next YouTube video or YouTube live session. That's all.